I watched Jason Statham do his thing in The Working Man. Remember that one?
Working Man's out the bag on that one. And so I've heard it's just Jason Statham movies, but without the fun.
It is The Beekeeper. It is The Transporter. It is blah, 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 blah. All the kind of job description type movies that he's done. But less
The
entertaining.
Mechanic. The social worker.
Yeah. The
sous chef.
The forklifter. Yeah.
The fridge technician.
Yeah.
The puzzle maker.
I ain't that kind of guy anymore. I can't lift forks to save my life. Unless you pay me a lot of money.
About lift this spork.
That's the sequel, The Spork Lifter.
The Spork Lifter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, A Working Man. I would have wished there was more puns and they were more leaning into the fact that he was a working man, because essentially what the movie is, the story, he's a, would you say, blue collar worker? He works on a building site. He's doing all that kind of stuff. But also,
he's lifting pipes. What? He's remaking Commando.
He's got those 4x4s. He's got 4x4s on top of 4x4s.
So he's not the guy. He's not the guy you go for 2x4s.
No.
You ask him for a 2x4, he'll grab you a 4x4.
4x4, yeah. It's 2x4s on 4x4s, like as in Land Rovers.
Oh man, this is more of a square shape. We can't use 2x4s. Jason Statham, go and grab us a 4x4.
He built a 4x4 out of 2x4s
into a 4x4.
Yeah,
finished.
The two of them together becomes an 8x4.
The kids from the charity are going to love their new house.
So the setup is
every time they have to open a window, it's one of those ones that you have to wheel around.
Yeah, you roll it down 4 times, becomes 4x4.
Turn the heating on. Let me just get the keys. Right, heating's on. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Can I tell you? Can I tell you the story?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
What happens is, go ahead.
Be my guest.
Like the candle from Beauty and the Beast. So, the working man.
Please, go on.
Oh my lord, I'm going to end this call. Oh, you don't scare me. Yeah. No. So what happens is Jason Statham, he's doing this Jason Statham thing. He's a ordinary guy, but guess what? He's ex-military, obviously. So what happens? Someone gets kidnapped. He has to go and get the person because he's like, oh, I don't do that kind of work anymore. But then he ends up doing it because he has to.
Sure.
And stuff happens. I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't really follow the story that much because it kind of didn't make much sense.
I was gonna say, do you have to?
Not really. I mean, you're there for the action, but even the action, in my opinion, just wasn't up to scratch. I thought there was a lot of shaky cam. There was a lot of just, when there are action scenes that have talking points, and we're like, oh, do you remember that bit where that thing happened? There wasn't really a lot of that. The best part that happened was at the end, he just goes full Rambo, and that was fun for a little bit, but it didn't last very long. And yeah, I just didn't care much for it. The dialogue wasn't great either, and I think that is a little bit of a problem with a lot of David Ayer films. Some of the dialogue is always a little bit wishy-washy.
Okay.
But there was a moment that made me laugh out loud, and Jason Statham just went, nah, I'm just not that kind of man anymore. And I was like, wow, that's textbook. One of these kind of movies, you know?
I'm going to punch you now.
A lot of people are confused about his accent because he's got this strange half British geezer, half American.
Okay, so half accent. British geezer, half living in LA for.
Yeah, but he does that in almost all of his recent movies, where you can't quite. He's got this American twang to it, but in this movie, he's actually dual citizenship. He's actually half American, half British. So maybe they were like, maybe we should lean into this a bit more and try and justify why he sounds the way he does. But I'll be honest, I saw The Beekeeper before, which is the previous Jason Statham, David Ayer movie, and I enjoyed that more than this one because at least that one was a little bit campier, and there were a lot more bee puns related to his beekeeping job.
Wasn't there a line where he was like, "To be or not to be"?
Well, not to be, yeah. They were leading into that, and I thought that was fun. But this one just didn't seem as fun. It seemed a little bit too overly serious, and
So at no point does he look at a bad guy and go, "Hey, I'm just working, man." And then...
But there's one point where David Harbour is in the movie as well. He's essentially the James Bond's Q of the movie, right? Where he's like, "I've got all these Kalashnikovs in my shed. Which one do you want?"
That's Q, is it? See this thing that looks like a gun? Well, pull the trigger and it fires bullets.
Double the fun. Pull it twice. So yeah, David Harbour's in it, and then at one point he's like, "Oh, I'm not that kind of man anymore." It's like, "I know who you are. You're a working man." And everyone in the cinema just groaned collectively, just went, Everyone slightly shifted in their seats. You can see that they're all just like...
A few people like, I wonder if Black Bag's still on. I'll go and watch that instead.
Have you seen Black Bag? That any good?
No, I keep trying to catch it, but it's just...
I heard it's good. I heard
it's good. Not on at the right time for me because I'm a working man.
I'm working, man.
I'm working, man.
I'm a working man. So I'm giving it a chat, I think.
That high?
That high?
I mean you said nothing good about it, apart from there's 2 minutes where he goes full Rambo.
I chuckled a few times. There were some moments in it where I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of fun.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's let down by the... I think it was let down by what everyone wants it to be, and it's a good, fun action movie, and it wasn't really that. But there were certain moments where I was partially entertained.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that.
Chatting Pitch has been brought to you by Leslie Way and Matthew D. Smith. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to others and maybe even subscribe. You can follow us on the website, formerly known as Twitter.
Listen to us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Leslie and Matthew have their own side hustles as well. Feel free to check out Leslie's YouTube channel or Matthew's Medium blog. Links in the description. If you want anything else, we might have other links in the description if we think of anything interesting to add. Thank you for listening. I love you.